Live from the Spill Studios, located behind a liquor store on the I-35 interchange, it's time once again for a couple of cold ones with Corey and Carlisle and Leon.
Leon, how you doing, man? Back.
Yeah, you guys enticed me to come back. And we had all the people from the Spill Pub Crawl who said, Leon, you got to come back on the show. And I was like, sadate.
Yeah, man, we might have to make you a permanent establishment here, because we waited on your ass from yesterday. Which
I appreciate.
Which is a good thing, because apparently between me talking to you and saying, hey, we're going to start recording, and you saying, just wait on me, and then now, which is almost like over 24 hours later, a lot of crazy shit has happened to both me and Carlisle, man. I mean, yesterday I was trying to get a hold of you guys at a reasonable time, but it got crazy for me, but then you told me about what Carlisle had to go through, and I was just kind of like, shit, that ain't nothing compared to what happened to him. And I told you, man, it all involves those fucking kids that run through your yard, man. I told you those kids are gonna be trouble one day.
Well, you know what? I mean, Carlisle, he lives on a corner, and when you have a corner lot, that's your lot in life that people are gonna cut through your yard. It's just the way it goes.
The first day I helped him move, you move some stuff over. The first day, school let out, and all these fucking little ghetto-looking kids just running through his yard. Ah! I was just kind of like, man, please watch your shit, okay? Build a fence.
We used to be those kids, so we know what they're up to.
Yeah, I used to tear up shit when I was a kid. I know what I'm talking about. But is everything all right, man?
What was that?
Is everything all right?
Well, it is now, but it was not for a couple of hours there.
Well, please regale the audience with the tale of what happened.
Well, I mean, it you know what? It started how how it always starts over here, where it's, I hear kids, making a lot of noise outside my window, literally outside my window. I walk outside to chase them out of the yard, because usually when I hear them outside, it's when a couple of them decided to get into a fight and they're fighting in my yard, and usually you just step out and you shoo them off and do the get off of my lawn.
You damn kids.
Hey, you can take it somewhere else, please.
These kids are 12 and 13 years old, and some crotchety old guy walks out and goes, get off of my lawn. And you're like, oh crap, let's go. We don't want to get in trouble. Well, this time I walk out, and there's this kid pulling bulbs out of my Christmas lights.
See, why? It's like, because it's just ignorant, stupid shit, because I myself the kid's obviously not very smart, because in order to cause damage to bulbs, I just would have threw rocks at him. But he went up there and took the time to screw them out and all that kind of shit, so.
Yeah.
He was just standing there fiddling with them, pulling them out, and I walk over and I'm like, dude. And he literally kind of throws it away like, you didn't see nothing, and starts trying to walk off. And I'm like, dude, what the fuck? And he looks at me and he says, you know what? Fuck you, and gives me the finger. And you know what? Instinctively, I give him the finger back. And then he's not the kid. He's not. But no, because he's not the kid. This isn't the kid I'm talking about. Because what happens is he gives me the finger and he's walking away because he doesn't, he wants to look cool in front of all the kids, but he doesn't want to get in trouble. But sure enough, there's this kid walking right by me that go, look at this fucking cracker, thinking he can give the middle finger. And I'm like, excuse me? And he's like, you fucking heard me. And I said, yeah, I fucking did. Fuck off. Get out of my yard.
Well, I'm glad to hear that the kids were white, because I was so scared there's going to be some black kids who did this.
White kids don't go to this school.
I know. I'm sitting up here making a fucking joke. Yeah. So,
Carlisle couldn't afford a house in a white school neighborhood. Come on.
So this kid starts, just talking shit to me, and so I throw it back at him, and I start walking back inside because it's just like, holy crap, this is ludicrous. This is 13-year-old kids
you go like, this is stupid. What am I doing?
Yeah. So I go back inside, and I hear all this yelling outside. And so I go back outside, and it's the kids across the street yelling to get my attention. And so here's this kid who had, called me the fucking cracker. And he's walking across the street, and he's just talking trash. And I'm like, why are you flapping your gums? Go home. Go the fuck home. Get out. Go. Get the fuck out of here. And so he's talking shit, trying to look cool in front of all of his friends, because look at me, I'm the tough guy, I'm talking to the old guy. And so he's talking trash, and then he offends me. And he offends me by dropping the lamest collection of supposedly dirty words together that sounded something like his mouth was full of marbles and he was saying, "Oh yeah, well what you gonna do? Because last night I had my mouth on your mama's pussy." And I'm like, really? That's what you've got? And his face, his jaw drops like, I just said the most offensive thing in the world and you are unimpressed, and his friends start kind of laughing, and I'm like, really? You're going to stand here and you're going to say shit like that to me? He goes, you stepping? You stepping? I'm like, excuse me? He's like, do you want to fight? I'm like, no, I don't want to fight a 13-year-old boy. And so he throws a rock at me.
Oh,
I'm like,
you didn't tell me that part, Leon.
no, I didn't know this
because he
part.
hasn't heard this part. And I say, you're kidding me. A 13-year-old boy, the middle school kid, just threw a rock at me. Really? Get the fuck out of here. And so that's where you like rocks? You like rocks? He walks into my yard and picks up this big portion of a cinder block. It's like, one of those it's like a cinder block that's been broken off to use as like a flagstone. Yeah. And he walks over to my scooter and hangs it over my scooter, and I'm like, you better not do that. And he drops it right on the windshield. Now, fortunately, what I thought, my windshield it's a plastic windshield, and it bounced the rock off. I didn't know what damage it did, but he takes off running. So, of course, I'm pissed, and I take off running after him. And he's laughing. I'm in my socks, and I'm literally right on his ass in my socks, chasing this kid at a full run. And he stops, he jukes, he goes back, I'm running, I'm right after him, and he's like, I'm getting away, what you gonna do? And from out of nowhere comes a hobo who tackles this kid to the ground. He's got him on the ground now, and I'm like, whoa, what was that? And he's like, is this the kid you were after? And I'm like, yeah, here he is.
Cause this was my dinner for the night, if you don't want to.
So, of course, he's tagging.
I remember what happened to that Peter Parker kid. I had to stop him.
So sure enough, he gets tackled in my neighbor's yard. So the kid gets up and tries to go again, and I grab him, and I've got him, in a bear hug now. And
Shit, man.
I've got him in a bear hug from behind, just fully grappled him.
I gotta say, I'm worried about you at this point because I'm seeing charges pressed against you.
No. Trust me on this.
Okay.
Plus, he had a hobo as his witness, and he gave the hobo $1 to shut up.
So my neighbors are there, and they're like, "What do you want us to do?" I'm like, "Call the cops." And they're like, "All right." So they call the cops, and so within 4 or 5 minutes, the cops are there, and a police officer rolls up.
It must be awesome to be white, because when I call the cops, sometimes they don't show up at all.
There's usually a few cops in the neighborhood because of this school.
Okay.
At time to get off, they have several cops who are kind of in the area just in case there's any problems.
Wow. Okay.
And so they were, once they got the call, they're like, okay, this is what we're here for. And so the cop comes up, and while he's doing that, now here's the beauty of it, is he's trying to wriggle out and he can't, because he is a 13-year-old boy.
Yeah.
And I've got him in a complete bear hug. He can't get out, and so he's like talking to his friends. He's like, come on, guys. Who's going to help me? What, you guys too scared of this white boy? You're not. And they're all sitting there going, man, we don't want any of this. Come on, man. And some of them are kind of talking trash to me, and I look dirty at them, and they shut the fuck up. And because they're like, shit. But so the cop shows up, and this is where it just gets really ridiculous. It gets absolutely ridiculous, because the cop walks up and she goes, okay, what's the problem? And I let him go so that he can, that the cop can now take over. And the kid goes to run, and the cop grabs him, and he then spends the next 5 minutes resisting arrest. Damn. He takes a swing at the cop. He's wriggling out. By the end of it, his friends are like, look, man, just lie on the ground and let her put the cuffs on you. You're just making it worse. And all of his friends are standing around watching him just humiliate himself as he flails around, and this cop is trying to put the cuffs on without hurting him. I mean, it passed the point where she should have, kicked out the back of his knees and put his face into the dirt, but she was being entirely professional about the whole thing. And towards the end of that is when a couple of the administrators from the school are driving by. They see what's going on. They pull up, and they're like, "Oh, it's you." And they know this
Of
kid.
course.
And they're like, and they tell
Babyface Finster once again.
they tell the cop, the cop says, "Do you know this kid?" And they're like, "Yeah, we know him. He's trouble." And so they're trying to talk sense to him, saying, "Look, just let her put the cuffs on you and let this be over with." And so sure enough, they finally get the cuffs on him. They put him in the back of the car, and he's the cops come up to me and they ask the story. We go through everything, and they go and talk to him, and they're like, "Do you want to press charges?" And I'm just like, this kid, he's a total pain in the ass, but you listening to this kid and looking at this kid, he's that one kid that you look at and you just know that this kid is either going to be in and out of prison for the rest of his life, or he's getting shot or stabbed. Like, that is his future. That unless Morgan Freeman comes out of the woodwork and gives him a magical lecture, this kid is doomed. And so it's one of those things where it's like, I can send him to juvie, but you know what? That was the fun part I forgot to mention. While I'm holding him, he's telling his buddy to call his homies to come and shoot this white bitch. And
Wait, was he referring to you or the lady cop?
no, he was referring to me because the cop hadn't showed up yet.
Okay.
So on top of that, he adds terroristic threats to everything else he's done, from trespassing, from vandalism, assault. Like, he's done everything. He's going to spend the next few years in juvie if I press charges. And I was like, what's going to happen if I don't press charges? And the cop said, well, we probably have to let him go if you're not going to press charges, but let's see. And so they literally pull out the book, and they start going through the book to look up what this kid has done. And they said, no, we're going to take him to we can actually book him for resisting arrest. So if we're called out on any of these things and he resists arrest, then, yeah, he's going down for resisting arrest. So he ends up going to jail just for resisting arrest because I decided I wasn't going to press charges against him. And so I get back inside. I'm totally pissed off. The adrenaline starts wearing off, and I realize this kid's fucked up my knee, like really bad.
Yeah.
And because he couldn't break out of the bear hold, so he's kicking back, and he's kicking me in the leg, and I've got so much adrenaline going that I'm not even feeling it. I'm like, all right, fine, kick me in the leg, and then I get inside. I'm like, oh shit, I'm old. Wow, that adrenaline was some awesome stuff. So yeah, that was my 3:30 in the afternoon.
Oh man, kids, they grow up so fast, don't they? Man, that is a crazy story. Look, you're a better man than I am because I'm looking at this kid and I'm listening to you talk about this kid, and I'm thinking, this kid's on his way to like rob a liquor store or something right now.
Yeah.
I mean, this kid's probably on his way to rape somebody, or mug someone, or stab somebody in the ass. I'm thinking you saved a life that day. Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, as long as he goes down. I mean, maybe if Carlisle were to press charges, he might get raped in juvie, and it might be that magical penis that makes him go like, wait a minute, I need to turn my whole life around. You know what? Like he's in his cell, and he goes like, what did I do to get here? Let's retrace the steps. Oh my God, I've been living wrong.
Wow, that was just one dumbass move after another. I think I've learned a good lesson. Yeah, sorry to hear that, man.
It's the lesson stick again. I learned last time.
And I really do hope you gave that bum $1, man.
Yeah, for real.
So yeah, man, that's he told me about this.
The guy got up and he left, and I never saw him again.
He just
it was Hancock. He flew off.
I would be surprised, if I found out that was Hancock. Man, it was so from out of ice. I didn't even see that guy coming. He just came from out of nowhere and took that kid down.
Yeah, Carlisle starts telling people that story, and they're like, yeah, that bum in that alley right there, man, he just jumped out and grabbed the kid. And they're like, wait a minute, what did that bum look like? What was his name? Wait a minute, that guy died like 10 years ago.
Oh, hey, maybe it was maybe it's Ricky Williams, like some old football player. He just kind of disappeared off the grid.
The thing that really messed with me is after the fact, I was talking to the cops. They were officially taking my statement and giving me my case number and all that kind of stuff. And so I was like, okay, just for future reference, just in case I have to deal with these guys again, if, this happens and I'm physically threatened, what am I within my rights to do? And they said, well, if the situation is anything like it was today, you have every right to defend yourself with lethal force. And it's like, oh, shit. This kid had gotten himself into a situation where he could have gotten legally shot.
Yeah, I would have went over there and just punched the kid in the mouth and just said, hey, he attacked me. The moment I saw him fucking with my lights, it would have been like, what the fuck you doing? Hey, he swung at me. What do you want me to do?
I could not at this point in the situation bring myself to hit a kid. Like if his friends show up tomorrow and start messing with the house, then I might have to start hitting kids and earn the worst online reputation in human history. Carlisle, the kitty ass beater. It'd be like Gran Torino.
No.
I don't know.
It sounds like you. I mean, like if his parents still could, like, try to press charges on you for assault of a minor.
No. He was defending his property. He was doing everything. He was very patient. I ain't
talking about what's right. I'm talking about what's the law and how.
Yeah, but I can still press charges.
Yeah.
First of all, let's look at it this way. Carlisle is white. The kid is black. So he got that on his side already. Carlisle does.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. Second of all, they're looking at this kid, and everybody's saying this kid is a problem. Everybody knows this kid was trouble. Nobody's going to come against. Nobody's going to go against what you did, man. I mean, you did everything to protect your home, and you were cool. You were like, you asked the cop, is like, what about press charges against this kid? And I don't want to do that. You actually really, really nice. And this dumbass right here, he did it all to himself, man.
I know, man, but before he went down, he put the hit out on Carlisle. He's gonna have the 12-year-old mafia after him. He got me kind of scared.
I like that too. He's like he's really running shit. Man, somebody step up and shoot this motherfucker.
Yeah, I know. He's like Morgan Freeman in Wanted.
Yeah, shoot. Somebody shoot this motherfucker.
Somebody throw a rock at this motherfucker. You threw a rock at me, man. A fucking rock.
Take that.
I haven't had a middle schooler throw a rock at me since I was in fucking middle school.
Man, it is time.
You just laughed at him, and everybody laughed at him too.
Time for you to build a fence. Okay. Yeah. Get a dog or get a taser gun, man.
I have a fence and dogs. I just don't have a fence in the front yard.
Yeah, those dogs are fucking happy, man. Those dogs probably told that kid to fuck with those lights. Hey, man, ain't nothing gonna happen. Fuck with these lights. No, build a fence in the front yard. Get yourself a fucking pit bull that you starve for a couple of days, and yeah.
You know what's kind of funny when everything was like calming down and the cop was talking to the kid, and I'm standing over to the side, and I see the kid standing 10 feet from me that originally was plucking out lights from my Christmas lights, and I start walking over to him, and he sees me, he goes, "Oh no, wait, man, He starts backing off again and walking away, like he wants nothing. He's like, "I don't want any of this," and I'm like, "No, come here," and he's like, And the whole reason I was going over there was to say, "Dude, don't touch my lights." Yeah, and he's walking away because he thinks I'm about to take him to the cops for vandalism, and but that kid didn't want anything. It's this kid that was walking by that had nothing to do with the whole thing that ends up going to juvie.
Wow, how you like that? You're a witness to vandalism to end up in jail. I mean, let's reflect on this.
I don't know. I got to say, what I love about this story is I can't wait to see all the fan art that has Carlisle in the place of Clint Eastwood in Gran Torino.
I can't wait to have the fan art of Carlisle running in socks after this kid and the bum that comes out to like grab the kid.
Why do you have to ask for that now you've just invoked it?
Because it's funny. That's why, man. I know Leon and we haven't said it, but we're thinking the same thing. Shit, we wish we were there. See all this? Because we would have been. Look, we're your friends. We love you dearly, man. But we would have been like, don't put your phone away, man. Let's see where this goes real quick.
The thing that really, really got me, the reason I hated the hell out of this kid was because he called me cracker. That was the thing that just got me. Like, of everything else, like, I don't know what it was, but just him coming out of the gate like that, it's like, are you fucking kidding me? Seriously.
This cracker ain't gonna do shit.
I didn't think there were any, like, white people racial epithets that were at all, effective. I mean, cracker is like just kind of like, well, we ain't got nothing else to call you.
Yeah.
Look,
you can't
call
say
me honky.
no.
At least honky, I can laugh at. If he called me a honky bitch, then it would be like, okay, that's funny.
Yeah,
But,
you got to laugh at that.
yeah, but look at this motherfucking cracker. It's like, whoa, what the fuck?
I wish he
I'm in
had
my
like
own
gone
fucking
as far as to like call you like, hey man, look at this jive turkey talking to me.
I know.
Jive turkey. Why couldn't he have called me jive turkey? The motherfucker'd be at home tonight with his mama.
Maybe because we're not watching the episode of What's Happening, I guess.
Yeah, or Fat Albert.
Or Fat Albert. Yo, man.
Look at this jive turkey.
Hey, man, how does that saying go, man?
This old white dude is like school
in the summertime. No class.
All of a sudden, see, now I'm having the other Gran Torino flashbacks where, like he calls that part where he rolls up and he calls the kids spooks, and they're like, spooks? Did you just call us spooks?
Oh, we're going to start calling you Clint Eastwood, man.
I know.
Somebody already made me a T-shirt today that put my head on Dirty Harry's body that said, "Get off of my lawn."
That's funny.
It's just funny because instead of like a cool muscle car, it's a bright yellow scooter. But otherwise, it's the same story.
Yellow scooters.
Yeah. Yellow scooter. Don't come around.
Well, I'm glad to hear that you're safe, man, and that nothing too much got damaged. Yeah, I mean, look, seriously, we're joking, but 13-year-old kids,
it could have gone scary.
They got guns, man. They got weapons. Leon was just telling me about the Mexican cartel getting some young kid who's probably barely 12 to cut somebody's head off. I mean, holy shit, it's a crazy world out there, man.
Well, I'm going down to the school tomorrow. They've had I know in the past when people have had problems, they've gone and talked to the administration, and the administration has a rehearsed speech that they give everyone that essentially says, look, don't mess with any of the neighborhoods you're walking through, don't mess with any of the people in the neighborhoods you're walking through, or else you're going to be expelled and go to jail. And then that whole class never causes any trouble again until the next class comes in. And that's what this is. This is that next class.
Well, good. Glad to hear you're still alive. I'm glad some 13-year-old kid didn't put a bullet in your ass over some Christmas lights. So, well, as I said, I didn't go through anything nearly as crazy as at least I don't think.
Are you
so.
kidding? You went to an Insane Clown Posse concert. You were hanging with the Juggalos.
No.
Is that what you were doing?
No, it didn't happen like that, man.
He drove to San Antonio for it.
Well, I was in San Antonio at the same time, actually, and Corey sent the gayest email I've ever gotten in my life. You know how Corey occasionally has he says those things that you just kind of shake your head at, and you're like, if I didn't know better, I would think. And this was that email from Corey.
What did I say?
You're like, hey, man, shit's crazy here. It's 4 of us guys in a hotel.
See, I knew when I sent that off.
A quiet spot.
I knew it. I don't think I already knew what you were thinking when I sent that off, but I didn't even say anything. But it gets even crazier from there. No, I sent out this tweet to people saying, I'm in a room with 3 guys in makeup, and I have to go down to the front desk and tell them that we've had a medical emergency. How do I do this?
Oh, right.
And I told people I'll explain later. So
okay, now we get to the Pulp Fiction chapter.
Yeah, this is like some shit out of Pulp Fiction, man. So these guys, I'm going to the Insane Clown Posse concert. Now, it's not like I'm like crazy into them or anything. It's somebody that I know, a friend of mine, just has been dying for me to go to one of these shows with him. He's from out of town. Says they're in San Antonio. Drive down. I got a ticket for you. We'll get some drinks and have fun. I'm like, okay, you know me. I'll do anything. Right, fine, let's go.
Well, I don't know. I mean, get some drinks. They're already going to be throwing orange soda at you.
Get some beer, some real drinks, not some not clown food. So we're they're in a hotel, the Sheraton, and I am waiting for them to get ready because they're all going in makeup. I'm like, well, I ain't going in makeup. All right, I'll go to the show, but that's about it.
You won't do whiteface?
No, I will not do whiteface, blackface, purple face, anything in between. So, but it's cool though. I know they're all what they call juggalos and shit like that. And one guy's just like, he was just like, I ain't doing that either. But he's like, whatever. I'm peer pressure. I'm with my friend here. I'll go ahead and do it. So they're all like putting on makeup, like they're getting ready for a Broadway stage show or something. And so I started getting on the computer and doing things. Because it's at that point where I'm like saying, well, while they're doing that, I can go ahead and record with you guys.
Yeah.
And so I'm sitting there on my computer, and I hear all this like, and I'm just thinking, I don't know, maybe they're horsing around or something. I don't want to know. No, they're putting makeup. I'm not getting up to like check and see. So I just sit down and keep doing it. So they come out of the bathroom area, and the guy that I know, it's 3 guys in there, but the guy that I know, one guy has his feet, the other guy has his legs, and they lay him down on the bed, and he looks like he's just got the shit beat out of him. And I'm looking over there, and I take off the headphones, and I'm like, holy shit, what happened? And they're like, dude, he just peeled over and just had a seizure.
Whoa.
Yeah, and okay, now I feel bad because honestly, let me tell you what I was doing. While I was waiting on you guys, somebody sent me over the link to the Batman porno, the Batman parody porno. So I'm sitting up here watching Batman porn. Meanwhile, in the bathroom.
No. Just take off the Batman part. Just leave the Batman part off.
While you were
watching porn.
I was watching this Batman porn.
You were trying to jack off the Batman. Meanwhile, back in the bathroom.
That isn't a daily occurrence over at the Leon household.
Yeah, man, I'm sitting up there watching bat porn, and meanwhile this dude is in the bathroom convulsing, having a seizure. These guys are trying to wrestle him down, and I heard what was going on a little bit, and I even heard like a little bit and I thought they were like, okay, they're putting on makeup, they're just scaring each other, acting crazy, and so they bring the guy out, yeah, and he's just knocked out, man. I'd asked them, I'm like, is everything okay? And they're like, oh, it's all right now, it's okay, it's just. And at this point, they're like, okay, well, he's fine. We're just worried because there's makeup all over the wall and all over the floor. Apparently, when he went down, he started like convulsing, and like his face somehow just rubbed all over the carpet and all over the walls.
I'm sorry, it's not funny, but it is.
Man, no, the dude, at the time, it was terrifying. I can only imagine what these guys have gone through. And I'm not saying the guy's name. I'm not saying anything more than what I'm telling you, because really, this guy, this is a common occurrence, and I felt really bad for him.
So does he have epilepsy?
He has epilepsy. It turns out he has epilepsy, and if he doesn't sleep enough, he goes into convulsions. And apparently, he was so fucking excited about Insane Clown Posse that he did not sleep the night before.
I know a certain animator who's kind of like that.
Fortunately, that guy does not have epilepsy or clown makeup. So I tell them, they're like, we don't know what they're going to do about this floor and then on the walls and everything. It's like they might be.
A guy just had a seizure, but the main concern is getting your deposit back.
That's what I was going to say, because one guy was just kind of like, I knew he was scared, but he's like, man, the management's going to be a dick about this. I just know it. So I just say,
my grandmama gave me the money for this hotel.
So at this point, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, okay, while he was over there almost dying, I was over here like watching. I had a hard on from watching bat porn, so I should probably do my part. And I was like, well,
good Lord,
you know what?
Oh, Jesus Christ, dude!
I was like, I should probably like go downstairs and tell the management what happened. And when I left, because I was trying to do my part, but when I left, I got in the elevator. Yeah.
You'd like tell the guys like, all right, I'm gonna help out, but let me finish first.
But let me. Can I use your bathroom first? Hey, y'all done over there? But so when I get in the elevator, it dawns on me, it's like, how the fuck am I going to explain to them that I'm in a room with 3 clowns and one of them just had a seizure? What do I say when I get out of the front desk?
So this is the part where you go down to the front desk and Quentin Tarantino's standing down there and he says, do you see a sign outside that says Dead Juggalo Storage? Do you see a sign outside that says Dead Juggalo
Dead Clown Storage?
No, you don't, because storing dead juggalos ain't my business.
Yeah, so I get down there and I look at the management and I'm just trying to reveal as little as I can. I said, we're in room so and so. Someone just had a seizure and there's makeup all over the wall and the floors. And the woman looks at me and she says, so wait a minute, she had a seizure. And I was like, She. Yes, that is exactly right.
She's thinking hooker.
Yeah.
All right, you brought a hooker up here. You shoved something up her rectum up her live, and she had a
And
seizure.
now it's a Robert Rodriguez movie.
And I'm sure she's like, look, we get this all the time. Just let me look in the book, and I know exactly what to do.
And I should have known. So that's what I was thinking.
It's the 86, the Ben Affleck.
Well, at this point, I'm thinking like, man, I'd rather go with the hooker than a clown. So I'm like, yeah, because the management even looked at me when I said, the guy who is the manager, that's what caught his attention. He's all of a sudden just turned around like a dog who perked up and he's like, huh? And he's like, she. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, so what are you? And he even looked at me like I was crazy. Like my priorities on the wrong place. He's like, so you're worried about your deposit at this point? And I was like, you know what? I'm just worried about you coming up there and just looking at what's going on. Please don't make me say anymore.
I think it's so funny that these guys are worried about the man, like the deposit. And I'm laughing at him, but that's the first thing he says. Not that he might have a corpse to deal with, but that he's going to have a cleaning bill.
Well, when they came up there, they brought hotel safety. It was the funniest trio of people I've ever seen. It was the hotel management, hotel safety.
Are you the three men I sent for?
Well, it was hotel management, hotel safety, and the janitor. All together. And so I'm like,
no. I've seen. I can't remember which Three Stooges short that was, but I've seen that one before.
It was called the Ben Affleck.
So yeah, at this point they go in there and and the guy's laying on the bed and everybody's concerned about that one spot on the carpet. Nobody wants to know if there's a dead body up here. Nobody wants to know if the guy's okay. Everybody just like, that's a pretty big red spot right there. And it's like. And meanwhile, my friend who's passed out, his first words. Here's the weird thing about going into a seizure like this, and I'm making jokes, and I really am glad the guy's alive and well, because that it is, even with me being like a witness to it after the fact, it is one of the most terrifying things you can see, man. When they bring out somebody and their eyes are still rolling back in their head, and that person's still kind of out of it. And there were two.
It's like watching Batman porn.
Not as good. But when they
roll in the back of your head.
Yeah, I did not seem to get as much of a hard on looking at that guy get his eyes rolling in the back of his head as watching Batman. But
you know what bothers me is that you said as much of a hard on.
Yeah, you know me, man. I get turned on by anything. But seriously though, this guy, when he came to, it was two things that he said. First of all, he said, "Where am I?" And they were like, "Dude, you just had a seizure." He did not have a clue at all what just happened. He just knew he was on the bed. His second words were, "Are we still going to insane clown posse?" And everybody's like, "Are you out your fucking mind? You just had a seizure and you want to go to a place where there's fucking bright lights flashing all over the place and there's clowns dancing on stage? No, we're not going anywhere after this."
Well, to be fair, the whole reason he had the seizure was because he wanted to see that show so badly. I mean, kind of a shame that he had to go through the seizure and it causes him to miss the show.
Well, we're just thinking like, shit, if he was that excited to see them, what's going to happen when he gets there? Is his head just going to fucking explode? We're like, no.
I thought having a seizure was the point of going to an insane clown posse show.
Right.
Well,
Maybe
not when
just
I'm
give him a
around.
character.
Yeah, and I'm just happy that I didn't go downstairs having to talk to management dressed up like a fucking crazy looking Ronald McDonald myself, because I like, this really would have been bad had I been trying to put on makeup. I'm down there looking like Bozo trying to say, "Hey, we have a medical emergency upstairs." So yeah, that was my fucking night. And everything was cool afterwards. We went out to eat and we just didn't go to the show.
So y'all didn't see the show?
No, in fact, the guy had bought me tickets, and I ended up giving him $25 for the tickets that he bought because he was going to just give them to us. Because he's done this before. He's a friend of mine who just like buys tickets to shows all the time and invites me. And I'm just kind of like, all right, that's cool. But this night I apparently paid $25 to watch him go fucking into convulsions. So, yeah. But we went out afterwards and we had some dinner and, we just I couldn't just leave after that, so I stayed around long enough to make sure that he was cool and he was okay. And you know what? I want to be. I'm not gonna say who the guy is, but the guy loves all of us, and I just want to say we're joking around. He knew I was gonna talk about this on a podcast. Had to. I mean, come on, I can't pass that up. But seriously, the guy is a really cool guy. He's gonna probably do all of us a big favor somewhere down the line. So I hope he ain't too pissed at me for telling this story, but I'm not even telling you who it is.
I got to be honest.
So you guys,
if I'd been there, I'd have gone to the show.
Because
I'd have propped his head up on a pillow and said, "You gonna be all right?" and give him a glass of lemonade. I'd have gone.
You guys didn't get to figure. You guys did not get to find out how fucking magnets work. That was the whole point of going to the show. fucking magnets? How do they work? You were about to find out, but no, someone had to have a seizure.
Yeah, well,
Love that song.
hey man, like I said, I after seeing what happened just with him getting ready, there's no fucking way I'm gonna be caught in the middle of a clown party with somebody like about to like swallow their tongue or whatever they do. We just said no, we're not being put in that position, and he was like really heartbroken too. He's like, man, he's been looking, well, he's seen them like several times, so we're just kind of like, man, you've seen them before. It's no big loss. Stay here, sleep, and try not to fucking die. All right, okay. and he was just like, but I really wanted you to see him. I'm just like, man, come on.
No.
Yeah, exactly. I'm not about to like be a witness to a death over looking at some goddamn clowns throw soda all over everybody on stage. Come on, man. Are you serious? I mean, I'm going because of you. If you're not going to go, I'm sure not going to go to a fucking Insane Clown Posse show by myself. So whatever. Yeah, that's what took me so long to get a hold of everybody last night, man.
Yeah, no wonder.
Yeah, that was like one of the most frightening things I'd ever been through in my life. I was just like, holy shit. I've seen somebody die in front of me before. No kidding. I'm not gonna even tell you how, but I've seen it. Like somebody actually die, life leave their body right in front of me. I was like, I do not want to see that fucking again, especially with somebody wearing clown makeup and about to die. So yeah.
Now, when I was a kid, I had a Chihuahua that had epilepsy.
That is
freaky.
Oh man, when I was a kid, my sister had a dog, dumb as shit. Dog thought he could catch anything that went fast. One night I let that dog out, and I feel bad because they told me like, don't let Chester out in the front yard because Chester's pretty much stupid. And this fucking big van came by, seriously, and that dog heard the motor on that van, looked up, tried to run after it. I yelled out, Chester. The next thing I saw was that dog like a boomerang going towards the curb. He was all stiff and spinning because it hit his head so fast. How his head did not explode, I don't know. Maybe they slowed down. I just know the dog was about to get hit, and I kind of covered my eyes until I heard, Arr! And I looked, and when I opened my eyes, that dog was he was like a flying saucer going towards the curb. We took that dog to the vet because he was still alive, and he seemed like he was okay, but every now and then that dog would just start shaking, and his head would just go back, and and we were like, what the fuck is going on? He seemed like he's all right, and we got him to the vet, and they said his brain is swelling and it's causing him to have seizures, and they had to keep him up. And the dog fucking miraculously lived. He didn't chase no more fucking cars. No, he whenever he saw a car, he went the opposite way. Like, fuck that, I ain't doing that again. But yeah, he lived to a ripe old age too, man. Still dumb as hell, but he didn't chase cars anymore. So
no, but he sure did resist arrest a lot.
But yeah, no bum came out to catch him when he was going for that van. But anyway, as you can see, people, we never shortage of stories here with us. Always something crazy happening. I tell you about that. I'm not going to tell it here because I already told it on the call-in show. Maybe I should tell it real quick. Did I tell you what happened to Cyrus and I the other night? Did Cyrus tell you?
About the two young girls trying to hustle y'all for drinks?
Yeah. Yeah, you know me, man. I get fucking drunk and act crazy. I went for that guy in the group and put my arms around and told him, hey, man, your fucking chick owes me a drink. And it's a long story. I don't even want to get into it.
But the story starts with you really, really fucking drunk wearing a panda mask.
No.
No. Actually, Carlisle, this happened from before that.
Oh, yeah. No, this was before. Yeah, it was like on a Thursday night. Two girls.
Oh, this was not the pub crawl.
No, it was not the pub crawl. I'll tell it on something. I'll tell it on Let's Do This or something. We've already told enough stories because what I do want to say is thank everyone who came out to thank you to everyone who came out to the pub crawl. We had a good night. We started out with almost 40 people. By the end of the night, the groups had split off, and like one group went one way and another group went another way. And the group that was with me was still like 18 people, and most of them were like spill people I hadn't even seen before. So we were
wasted that night.
You know what? There was a bunch of us who were wasted that night.
Yeah, but he got so drunk he rode bitch on my scooter.
And I would never do that sober, so you know how drunk I got. People, I have to say, it was a lot more fun and a lot bigger than I thought it would be. And all night, I had on this fucking panda
you know what?
mask.
I get that a lot.
But
that's what she said.
But I put on this panda mask that like it was a ski mask with this scary looking panda face on it, and I was so drunk that I just wore it all night long. And I originally I got it so that people could like I could be the center of attention when I told people like, hey, let's go to the next bar and people could find me and see me when I'm yelling at them to go. But that thing just stayed on all fucking night, man. I mean, it was
refused to take it off.
Oh man, I had so much fun that night, and I can't thank people enough for coming out. It was more of a success than I thought it would be. I was really scared when I saw the number of people who showed up. God damn it, Leon, what's going on with his phone, man? Damn, Leon, close some of those programs, man.
I know. I was working on 3 Photoshop files all at the same time.
Shit just gone. Yeah, okay. So you back on now?
Yeah, I'm on.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't know where we were. I was just thanking people for coming out to the pub crawl. We got some more events coming up in a few months. I tell you, we're going to try and do something once a month. I can't guarantee every Spill crew member is going to be there, even though I know you love seeing all of us there. But we're going to try and get
you can say me.
Yeah, well, okay. I'm sorry.
We don't know if we can ever get Carlisle.
The Carlisle Spill pub crawl was a success. The fact that we got him to show up, that just counted for something.
Not only did I show up, I was the first motherfucker there.
Were you the first one there?
Damn.
I was the first one there. I showed up minutes before you did, and then you showed up, and then we waited forever for Leon, Cyrus, and the co-host to show up.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, but once it got rolling. I mean,
Well, I was third.
Yeah, you were. No, I was amazed that all of you had made it out at some point. And some of the Leon guys came out, like Bo and Grant. Grant stuck with us. Grant was in my group all night long. Grant,
yeah.
By the end of the night, Grant was playing drunk ping pong.
Jason and Allison were there.
And Allison were there, and who else stuck with? Oh yeah, with us we had Kat and Harris who were with our group at the end
that's
of the
right.
night.
Yeah, they got there early.
Yeah.
I was surprised looking for old Fungus Monkey.
Well, he got. Well, here's the thing about Fungus Monkey. He got drunk at home and never made it out the house.
Oh,
so
okay.
he started early. But yeah, people, I really, again, I can't thank you enough. It was more than I ever thought it would be, and we can't wait to do more. I told you next month. I don't know if we're going to do anything here in the States, but there's going to be something in London and Croatia for New Year's, and we're going to be in London on January 8th.
I love how you say we.
Well, okay.
I know. What's this we, Kimosabe?
Like the site is somehow flying us out.
Oh, me and Nick. I'm actually going to spend some time with my cousin, and so while I'm there, of course, I'll go see the London Spill people. And Nick is going to be in Croatia. Croatia is really not that hard to get to from London. I know people think that this is like, oh man, what you doing, Globetrotting? No, it's not that hard to get there, seriously. So I figured, like, hey, I know my way around Zagreb now because it's not that big of a city, so I can go see Nick and hang out there, and then we're going to make a trip back to London on January 8th. So New Year's Eve, Croatia, Zagreb, the capital actually, and January 8th we're going to be in London. But in February, and we might do something in America in January, but in February, and I want to open this for everybody, by the way. If anybody has anything they want to do, I don't want to have to just plan everything. Carlisle, if you want to do something at the Alamo, that's fine. And Leon, I know you and I have been talking about doing this double feature for the martini and corn dog party. And
yes. I'm thrilled that you're making this happen because we have been talking about it for years, almost a decade.
And it's a place that's kind of small because I'm always thinking small, so I don't know, man. We might have to switch venues, but it's at a place that's kind of small. We're gonna see if we can fit people in there. If it doesn't happen that night, we'll just hang out with the people that we can and do it another night. So because I don't really know how this is gonna work out, but we're not gonna tell you the movies that we're doing this double feature for. You'll have to come out and see. Maybe I'll tell you close to the time that it happens. But in February, martinis and corn dogs for everybody. So
I'm looking forward to another pub crawl.
Well, I think and I don't want to do too many of them, even though somebody saw how big we were that night and said, look, if you want to do something regular and I don't know, just figure out what, maybe plan it more for such a crowd. If you do get it this big, we'll try to sponsor you in some kind of way.
Really? So like they would be saying like don't crawl, just come straight here. And
go to a couple.
Around.
Yeah, go to a location. You don't have to go all the way. Just come to a central location, and maybe between these bars we could sponsor something. So pub crawl is something you don't want to do every month. I'm thinking every other month. Maybe we can do a pub crawl in a close vicinity.
Next time we do that, I'm bringing bingo cards, and we're playing hipster bingo.
That sounds great to me. Yeah, we already had some people who said, man, I can't wait for you guys to do that again. I don't want to wear people out. Maybe every other month or every 2 months we'll see how it goes. So
did you guys talk to all the people that came? Because there was like a bunch of people who I saw who never came over to talk to me, and I never got a chance to talk to them. Or if I talked to them, I said 2 words, but I never knew who they were.
I
I
talked
talked
to
to as
everybody.
many as I really could, you know.
I mean, there was this one black dude who was on his phone the whole time. I made fun of him because every time I looked at him, he was on his phone texting somebody. I was like, at some point, how about living your life instead of reporting on it?
I'm here, man. I got another beer. I'm sipping it now. Go take a piss. Nah, man. And let me tell you something. I want to thank you guys for coming out and showing up to it. I know everybody was really happy to see you, so I was very happy that everybody got a chance to meet you, or at least.
No, it was a lot of fun. I mean, especially my two of my favorite guys, Spotlight Spider and Captain Lone Star, were there. I love those guys.
Oh, those guys are great too. Yeah, no, my man, two guys I know. Who were they? Theo and Tommy came out. Those are cousins, and it's probably that black guy you were talking about. They came over and Carla. They went and got the. They said that they went to Gordo's and got the hamburger.
That's in a donut.
In a donut
hamburger.
And they said that was probably the worst thing they'd ever done in their life because it's like it was like doing heroin. It was so good, but they knew it was doing bad shit to their body.
Yeah, it's like when you eat
We're
fried.
still gonna do it one day.
Yes, we are. Maybe that should be one of the things that we do. For start out doing something.
Put it on your bucket list.
Because you kicking the bucket right after that.
You know what we should actually do? What would be great before we do one of these events? We should have an afternoon event where we have a scavenger hunt. Where the scavenger hunt is for the Spilios, and they have to do things that are on a scavenger hunt list that are all things that we've mentioned on the various podcasts before and said we're gonna do or we're going or we've done.
That'd be a good prep for the. That's actually pretty cool because that'll be a good. We're gonna do like a huge. I don't even know if you can call it a scavenger hunt, but it's gonna be a bunch of tasks that people have to do for Spill.com. And we're saying it's a scavenger hunt, but it's actually just people taking challenges and doing really crazy things out in public.
This is just another way to get Cyrus laid, isn't it?
We try.
That is one of the challenges.
Yeah. If you do that, you get extra points. But yeah, man, that'll be funny, man, to do some of these things that we're talking. We should get a list and try that out before Spill.com comes up. Do it kind of small and get about 20 or so people involved. I'm all for that. Yeah, and man, anytime you guys got ideas, I'm open to it. Whatever y'all want to do. I'd like for y'all to come up with something every now and then. We'll get it all together. And like I said, people, as you can see, we're making an effort to reach out to you more, especially that I got like Metal Virgin working out. She's doing a lot of this stuff, planning for our events too. So look for a lot more of that stuff to happen down the line. Anyway, you want to get into that thing we do every week, man?
The top 5 brought to you by Spill.
That would be it. How did you know?
Because we do it every week.
That's right. I forgot about that part.
So, you said it was the thing we do every week. And we only watch Batman porn once in a blue moon.
Have you seen now? You guys are making fun of me, but you should really see this Batman porn. Now, it's making fun of the Batman from the 60s.
Right, but it looks pretty good from what I've seen. Yeah,
it actually, I'm exaggerating when I was like saying, I'm watching this and getting a hard on. I mean, it's actually, it's like everything else. Look, it looks cool at first, and everything's fun.
So it's like everything else. It gives you a hard on.
Like I said, you know me. Nah, man, this thing right here, it's okay. It's like anything else with porn. I mean, it starts out, all right, oh, this is cool. They got the look of Batman down. This guy who's doing Adam West, his Batman impression, that's pretty cool. And man, they got the colors down, the sets, and then all of a sudden, people start fucking, and all that cleverness just goes out the window. It's just like,
well, that's kind of the way it is whenever sex enters the picture. Cleverness and smarts go out the window.
But apparently, as Corey once told us both, all that crazy goes away as well.
Yeah. I don't care how crazy somebody is. They're fine, or if they're not. If they're just willing to jump in the bed with me, it's all right. So, you know what? Let's get into the number 5 film this week.
The number 5 film.
Oh, this is a movie that actually moved up. We're seeing some in the top 5 this week. We're seeing some movies that were one number below, making a move up, and this is our first one this week, and that would be Love and Other Drugs. Last weekend, it was number 6. It moved up to number 5 this week, bringing in $5.7 million, bringing its gross up to $23 million here. And the budget on that was $30 million. I guess us talking about Anne Hathaway's titties last week really got people in to see this film.
Hey, that word of mouth will do it.
That's got to be what it is, because people are talking about it. They're like, what is that movie? Oh, it's that movie where Anne Hathaway's naked. The whole, hey, where are you going? Hey, no, I'm not done telling you about the movie. See you after the movie.
Exactly. That's I'm telling you, that's all they had to say. Oh, this movie has Jake Gyllenhaal now, and they have to weigh in a story about love. No, is our titties showing? Okay, that's all I need to know. I'm going to see it.
Titties showing all through the movie. Oh well.
Why didn't you say so?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
all you had to say.
Yeah, movie might be on its way to getting meeting its budget. At least for appearance's sake, right here.
Well, I mean, I'm wondering if all this different position changing is because nothing really came out last week.
That's kind of it too. We have some stuff that's just been, like Carlisle and I were saying, it's about that time of year where things just sort of slowly come out. They have some smaller films that are released for Oscar season that they know are not going to be like big, huge box office numbers. And so when you get to the top 5, the bigger movies, they just start flip-flopping back and forth because this is the same thing as from the previous week and the previous week before that. For example, let's take our number 4 movie.
The number 4 film.
You got to put that little extra up in there. That would be Unstoppable, another movie that moved up from its previous position. That was number 5 last week, moved up to number 4 this week.
That train is unstoppable.
That train, that everybody loves that train, boy. This weekend it brought in $6 million, bringing its gross up to $68.8 million. Again, considering that the movie cost $100 million to make, it's not anything to get too excited for about it, but still bringing in some good business as far as
what you got to say about that, Leon? Huh?
Well, I'm happy for the train, I guess.
Yes, that train's it has a great future ahead of it. So let's go into the number 3 film.
Number 3 film.
The South Side of Carlisle. That would be Burlesque. Last week, it was number 4. This week, number 3. Brought in $6.1 million. It has so far grossed $27 million. Now, that's a movie that cost $55 million to make, so we don't know if it's going to reach its budget either, but doing a little bit better than what people thought it would do.
It's funny because with Love and Other Drugs, you go like, okay, people heard about Anne Hathaway's tits, and that's why they start going. You can see that. With Burlesque, I don't see what there was to hear to make you start going.
Well,
they heard that they animated the corpse of Cher and put it in a film.
That wasn't an animated corpse of Cher. That was a dude. You're not going to trick me. But yeah.
Again.
Yeah, I went to see this at midnight. I'm like, what the hell? I could have gone to the local gay club and saw this shit. But yeah, this.
Yes, you did.
Yes, and I did right after. So.
Sitting there going, see?
So let's go up to the number 2 movie.
Number 2 is watching you. Listening to yacht rock.
I want to clap, but I got this microphone in my hand. So this is the movie that went down a position. It was number 1 last week, but now the number 2 finally fell down, and that is Harry Potter and the Deathly Hallows, Part 1. And that brought in let me see. No, I was about to say the wrong number. That brought in $17 million this weekend, and so what if it dropped? Who gives a fuck? Because the movie already earned like $1 billion. So no, its gross is up now to $245 million after 3 weeks. So.
Oh, okay, 3 weeks. All right, yeah, I guess that happens. I was thinking like, man, it dropped after 1 week. That's weird.
No. It was number 1 last week. It's been out for 3 weeks right now, but it's been holding tight at number 1. So this week it dropped. It finally dropped. But what was the movie that took it over? I will tell you what it is. Carlisle.
Number 1.
Dun dun dun. Is Tangled.
Oh, okay.
Yep. Last week was number 2. Go ahead.
I was trying to think. I was just like, only thing that would have beat a Harry Potter movie would be another kids movie that everybody's going to take their kids to while they're out of school for Thanksgiving. But I couldn't remember what it was.
Yeah.
All I could think was Megamind. I was like, no way, Megamind, come on.
No.
But yeah,
Megamind is fallen. Megamind is at the top 5. It's at number 6 at this point. But Tangled, this is a movie that everybody says, you know what? This movie is going to have some legs during the holidays. It's going to be up here. It's going to continue to make money. It's one of those things that families, the more free time that they get, they had it over Thanksgiving, but with Christmas coming up, they're going to have even more time. And this movie is probably going to benefit from that. It has brought in $21.6 million this weekend, and that brings its gross up to $97 million. Now, here's the thing about this film. I don't see how this can be. They must have this wrong. They say that the budget on this is $260 million.
Really?
That has to be a discrepancy. I refuse to believe that movie cost that fucking much, man. Come on.
Tangled?
Yeah, Tangled. $260 million, man.
Yeah, I don't see it.
Let's see. Megamind. The budget on that was $130 million. It had just as many special effects and bigger stars in the movie.
I was gonna say, but the biggest star in Tangled is Zachary Levi.
Yeah, no, this
Chuck.
I'm challenging this right now. I'm saying that's bullshit. $260 million for this film.
Unless John Lasseter just say, look, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna need to get paid $100 million right off the bat for myself.
Yeah, and and Disney ain't done any real marketing because Disney does its own fucking marketing on the channel. They present like their films, like their commercials on their own channel. They do that at their movies now. You remember that movie that we saw with Morgan Freeman doing the voice of that puppy? You remember? You know what I'm talking about? Oh yeah,
that Santa Pooches or whatever the hell that.
Yeah. What was that fucking dog? Air Bud. Air Christmas or something.
The litter of Air Bud. And, yeah. I just talking about.
Oh, you mean the various Buddies movies?
Yeah. They got it as Santa Buddies.
Yeah, they got one now where Morgan Freeman is.
I think it's Santa Buddies 2, actually.
It's at the beginning. Yeah, he's like, I remember the time when I was a little pup and Santa Claus came to rape me. And then Disney has on there, we proudly present. I guess because they got Morgan Freeman into the mix, and so I know that they didn't spend a whole lot of money on marketing on this film. So that $260 million budget right there, that's bull, man. And I don't buy that at all. But You know what? Movie's doing well, and who knows? Maybe it could have reached that $260 million budget after Christmas because it looks like it ain't going nowhere for a while. So that's the top 5 this week, people. There you go. And let's see what we can do now. We can probably get into some tweets and emails.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. So did you put the call out, Carlisle, for that?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm good to go. I've got all sorts of great questions for you.
All right, let's hear them then. Hit me.
Well, let's KevBot3000 asks, what are good movies to watch during Christmas when you have a girl over? If you know what I mean, wink, wink.
Well, I'll let you answer that, man, because I know what you're going to say.
Well, you know we're all going to say. I mean, come on. You've got Love Actually is the baseline right there. Love Actually is just it's a really great romantic comedy. It's very sweet, and it is very Christmassy. It is hands down the Christmas romantic comedy.
Shit, I say just sit down and watch A Christmas Story again. Nothing make those panties drop like making a girl laugh. So you sit up there and catch off guard.
Or creeping her out.
Creeping out in what way? You're watching A Christmas Story, the one with that's a classic, man. And plus, it's on 24 hours. You can just put it on, and it's on at some point. So,
Oh, you're just a cheap bastard that wants to turn to TBS.
Yeah, exactly. Put a little something in her eggnog and get her laughing, and hey, it's on. So yeah, I'm the guy that thinks like, hey, making a girl laugh, watching a comedy, that's what really gets them. So, because if you watch, here's my thinking. Now, I know you like Love Actually more than I do. And I'm not arguing. I'm not going to argue, whether the movie's good or not, because a lot of people love the movie. I don't care about that. But I'm thinking, like, you try to, let's just say you're trying to get into, he says wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Apparently he's trying to get like nasty with this girl. And so, I don't know if you want to do that with a romantic movie. That might be a little too serious.
You want to use creepy little kids and air rifles?
Yes, I do. That kid's not creepy.
Leon, back me up here. What do you think the nudge nudge wink wink movie is?
Oh, that's easy. The Ice Storm.
That is true. Key parties, yeah, sex going on everywhere.
Yeah, key parties, and it shows you how the danger of getting into a serious relationship is just gonna be dismal, and so let's just have sex and let that be the end of it. I don't know. I kind of think kind of crazy, but I kind of feel like Die Hard, because it's just so fun to watch. It's like one of the kind of guy movies that girls dig too. And I don't know, it kind of gets your blood pumping.
Get your blood pumping again. If you know
I think this year it's got to be Scott Pilgrim. I think aside from the old classics, you got to pull out the Scott Pilgrim action. And ladies are digging the Scott Pilgrim.
I don't think of it as so much a Christmas movie, but okay, that'll work.
Or you could watch this porno I saw called "The Wench That Stole Chris' Ass," and so that's pretty good. No,
The thing is, I'm not sure that's a joke.
That's a real movie, isn't it?
I hope it is. At this point, I'm gonna look for it afterwards because every porn title that you make a pun out of, somebody has made it. So
Yeah.
if that exists, I recommend that one. So you got all our picks right there. You got another thing, another tweet?
Yeah. JJSMI asks, what's your favorite comedy of 2010? Mine is Get 'Em to the Greek. What's your guys' favorite comedy of 2010?
Jackass 3D.
It is definitely not Get Into the Greek. Man, I hate that movie.
I love that movie, but it's not my choice.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't. So you hated Get Him to the Greek, huh, Leon?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I didn't. I wasn't too crazy about that either. Yeah. I didn't. I didn't hate it, but I was like, I really don't like this movie. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Like I said, as far as something that just made me laugh, I'm not talking about appreciating the cleverness or sit up here saying, oh, what is like one of the most smart comedies that I said? No, something that just really genuinely made me laugh straight from the gut and had me walking out almost in pain from laughing so hard. Jackass. It's just, that's all it is. It's just there to make you laugh and nothing else. And so if we're talking about in that sense, yeah. If we're go ahead. What's that?
Mine
is Hot Tub Time Machine.
Ah, thank you.
I love the shit out of that movie. That movie is so fucking funny.
I was trying to think. I was like, there was some movie that reminded me of the whole Hangover 40-Year-Old Virgin, but I can't remember what it was. It was Hot Tub Time Machine. Yeah, you know what, guy? You guys both have great answers, and I can't decide between the two because I laugh probably just as hard in both of them, and yet they're very different type of movies.
Well, I was going to say I love. Right when I was about to say, but I also have to say, and then you mentioned yours. I was going to say Hot Tub Time Machine because I was just mentioning things that are smart and make you laugh. And really, that movie is one of those rare films where they can be, they can appear to have juvenile humor, but is actually very smart in the middle of it, and bringing the whole element of time travel and the way it worked in the film. Yeah, that was one of the smartest movies I'd seen this year as far as the comedy goes. That didn't get any attention at all. So. And it was right up there with Scott Pilgrim for me as far as like movies that are really smart and just nobody saw them.
For me, this has been that year where all the movies that I loved and thought were great were the ones that didn't do shit at the box office, and yet the stuff I was just like, oh, that's lame. That's what everybody wanted to go see.
Yeah. So, you got I think 3 good picks right there, and except for Jackass. Nobody saw them, and that means you probably didn't see them either. You probably saw like Scott Pilgrim, but really go out and see Hot Tub Time Machine. That's a really funny movie.
Or I Love You, Philip Morris. You got a lot of good laughs out of that too.
Yeah, that one's pretty funny. Although that's coming out now. Although I wouldn't put that up against Hot Tub Time Machine. It's not that kind of funny.
Well, yeah. Well, same with Jackass.
Well, no, yeah, it's a different kind of funny. And that one's not really juvenile. That one's actually a pretty good love story, and a con movie that is told with comedy. And yeah, but in the middle of it, you get some really heartfelt drama, and it's a well-told story too. And it's based on the what's the guy, Stephen J. Russell? Is that his name? So
yeah.
It's kind of a true story too, and it's really hard to believe that a lot of this stuff happened, but apparently it did. It's documented somewhere out here. So so those are some of our favorite comedies this year. You got another one?
Yeah, this is a small quick one for me. And then I got a small quick one for you. Mini Medger 05 asks, how's the new Tumblr site working out? Any future plans for it? I actually just this past week started up a Tumblr. So many of you guys have been giving me a hard time for years actually to start collecting up a place where I can post all of my reviews so that you can read the various things that I'm reading and keep up with the various podcasts that I'm on. And if you're interested in that, that's at massaworm.tumblr.com. Or just search Massaworm on Tumblr. And you'll find my new blog where I kind of list everything and should be posting a couple of cold ones with this. Then for Corey, that's not the one I'm looking for. Are you and the Loading Bar guys going to be reviewing any PSP games?
Oh, we're taking it slow as far as the systems that we're on. I mean, right now we're just reviewing mostly console games. And when we say console games, that includes a little bit of the Wii. I know we got Epic Mickey coming up, but and then we have Kevin, who is really into all this stuff. So Kevin has been pushing us to do a lot of handheld stuff like DS and the PSP. And then Kevin's also he's the PC guy. I know.
And why is Kevin's name not in the Loading Bar podcast description?
It is.
Okay, well, that's one of the questions I just got from somebody else.
Should be. I mean, I'll go back and check and see. I thought it was. But, yeah, I'm probably going to say at this point it's not high on our priority to review PSP games. PSP is a system that is slowly dying. Sony, here in America at least, has not done a good job at marketing or pushing the PSP. Started out strong because if you notice, there was a lot of movies that were coming out, and on the commercials they would say, coming out on DVD and PSP, and just kind of died down. There's not a lot of support for it here, so the PSP is something that we're really not focusing on. If anything, if you want to know a handheld system that we're going to be focusing on, it's going to be the DS, because not only is the DS still kind of going strong, kind of slowing down a little bit, but that's because they have the Nintendo DS 3D or the 3DS about to come out. And when that comes out, I'm getting one of those, and I'm definitely going to be concentrating on those. So, no, not a whole.
Of course, that's the system with all the Pokemon games on it.
Well, that's the system with all the Pokemon games, but the thing about the 3DS is that it's 3D, and it's apparently, now I've seen pictures of it online without glasses, and you can still kind of see the 3D effect. The biggest thing that has going for it is like 3D without the glasses, and everybody's expecting this to like just come in and just throw the whole 3D movement off as far as the industry trying to push it on TVs and everything, because hey, look, we got a technology here that doesn't need glasses. That's where everybody's going. And so the 3DS is something that we're going to have our eyes on very much when that comes out. And the PSP, I think, give it another year and a half, and that thing's going to be gone, man. So it's not going to be too much support for that. So not too much PSP coverage going on here.
Yeah. Yeah,
Well, why don't you pull a magical email out of your box, my man?
Out of my ass? Okay, let's see. We have here an email from Chris87 who says, one of you guys mentioned that Disney has to stop with the Princess fairy tales. Do you think that their movies would be better if they go back to source-like classics such as The Hunchback of Notre Dame, The Jungle Book, and The Great Mouse Detective, or even history? Now, this is the way it's got right. I'm just reading. Or even history, which was used as a source for Pocahontas. Let's take a look at this. If you look at all these movies, all of them except for one were not that huge for Disney. The Hunchback of Notre Dame was kind of like on that second golden age that they had with The Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, and Aladdin. Pocahontas and The Hunchback of Notre Dame were kind of the films that were like sort of signaling the end of that era.
Yeah,
that destroyed that era. They
had been on such a roll, and then they did Pocahontas, Hunchback, and Hercules all in a row.
Yeah,
and it was like, maybe this is it. I was surprised Tarzan was so good.
Yeah, Tarzan was that exception, but yeah. So
you named all of those films from that era that I loathe that era so much. Like, that's the era of Disney that I hate, because they took a bunch of really great stories, and that was the perfect example of them Disneyfying it and taking these great classics and like, oh, hey, let's tell the Hunchback of Notre Dame story, but let's forget the creepy obsessive part where they die at the end.
Yeah, let's
just throw the end of a brilliant book out. No. And, Pocahontas, let's totally change that. And Hercules, the part where he goes nuts and kills his family and then has to go on these labors, not so much.
With Hercules, they just turned it into it's almost Superman the musical.
Yeah,
and they just they ignored everything that was really Hercules about it.
You're right about that, and I agree with you, Carla. The Hunchback of Notre Dame was a travesty as far as in terms of literature. Yeah, the whole thing about the Hunchback dying with Esmeralda, whatever the gypsy's name is, at the end. Like at the end of that book, I think they actually find two corpses together. One of them's deformed, and the other is
it's back in the era where they used to dig up graves, and after a certain amount of time, your grave would be dug up, and they dug up Esmeralda's grave, and they find a hunchback skeleton wrapped around her. He had crawled into her coffin and held onto her and died of starvation in the coffin. He loved her so greatly. It's the last paragraph of the fucking book.
I really hate what they've done with something like Pocahontas and Hunchback. Hunchback especially, because Hunchback is like, I don't know what kind of message they were delivering, but it was almost like, hey, you know what? If you're deformed and ugly, forget about love. Just make sure that the two beautiful people get together and be happy. Your own happiness, don't worry about it. Just go back into the tower and talk to yourself with your imaginary statue friends.
Go talk to your hunch.
Now, granted, there are a number of the other stories where they changed the endings. I mean, the original ending of The Little Mermaid is not a happy ending.
No, right. But that's still more of a fairy tale. I mean, you're taking on something much heavier when you get into stuff like Pocahontas and The Hunchback. Now, I'll tell you what and there's some things that work in those movies. I mean, when I look at Hunchback, there's an amazing musical number in there. By the way, that's another thing that I hated. They changed the priest into a judge just to be, very PC and safe. But that judge was actually a pretty good villain and has an amazing musical number in there. But really,
that musical number was the one creepy thing that they kept.
Yeah, it was. But as far as everything else, I agree. They can't, if they want to take fairy tales and soften those, that's fine. They've done that most of the existence of the studio. I mean, that's okay. But things like The Great Mouse Detective was a good movie, but it was something that Disney has a tendency to forget some of the things that made them Disney. And I mentioned this with co-hosts. And Pixar seems to have picked this up. Whenever you make these movies, you can do it with original property or you can do it with a fairy tale, but just, put some heart in there. I think when you got to something like, when you finally got to Hercules and you got to the cow movie, Home on the Range, which was something they tried to do that was original, they forgot to put a lot of heart in there. The exception that they got away with that on with making it wacky was The Emperor's New Groove, which I thought was a amazingly funny film.
Oh, I thought it was the funniest movie that came out that year.
Yeah, but they forget to put a lot of heart in their films, and Pixar seems to pick that up. So no matter what they do, it's not a matter what source material that they go to, as long as they don't go to something too heavy and change the true meaning of it. They need to remember how to balance out their humor with a lot of characters, or memorable characters in heart, and they need to also always. I mean, I don't want to say this always. I don't think it's a rule. I don't want to, make it seem like they have to do this. But I think that one of the stronger points is also their villains. They always make a really cool villain, and sometimes they slack off on that. So I don't think it's a matter of the source material there. So that's, let me see. I got one more. Let me see if I have one more. I know we got a lot of questions this week, and I'm just going to read one more here that has come from the DVD Grouch. Who says, what's one Hollywood myth or rumor you wish turned out to be real? For me, it has to be that Sam Raimi continued to make Spider-Man. Somewhere down the line, Bruce Campbell might have played Mysterio. Oh, that's pretty cool.
Okay, I was going to say that that they did pump Rod Stewart's stomach and there was 8 quarts of sperm in it, but
yeah.
I was with that growing up.
Yeah, I remember hearing that growing up too. I think he's talking about more industry stuff though, not like not like gossip or trash talk or something like that. So, Carla, you got one?
Yeah, I wish they had. I really wish they'd made the second Buckaroo Banzai movie.
Yeah, I remember them talking about that.
Yeah, there's a lot of talk about it, and then it fell apart.
Every year there's a new rumor that it's happening, it's coming together. Right after they get done with the Arrested Development movie, they're making the new Buckaroo Banzai movie.
Yeah. I don't really have any at the moment. I can't think of anything. That's why I let you guys answer, because I knew you'd have some good answers. But there was one rumor that was going around that they were going to make a new Gremlins film, and Joe Dante was going to be directing, and that they were going to come in and do a combination of practical effects and also combine it with CG to make the Mogwais and the Gremlins look better. Of course, that ended up proven to be not true. That Joe Dante said he lied to, but there's nothing going around that he would be involved in. If they are making another one, he doesn't know anything about it. So I would like to see that happen, because I really love Gremlins.
Joe Dante was all like, man, I'd love to do that, but I'm already scheduled to go to this Spill.con thing.
Yeah, we almost had him for Spill.con, and then at the last minute, he's like, I don't think I'm going to go. What's the site again? Oh, that site. Fuck y'all. So, so anyway, that's, I don't have anything else. I think that's going to be it for tonight.
Yeah, I had an email, but I'm afraid to. No. But
ahead,
you know what? The way my computer's acting, I don't even want to open up the program.
Well, it's the end of the show, so it could be one of those things where if you exit that way, we don't have to come back. If you want to save it for next week, we can do that.
Yeah, let me save it for next week.
All right, then, y'all. That's it. We're done.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night,
Good night, y'all.